Who's the dumbest person you've ever met? My brother-in-law Kevin, hands down. When my sister first introduced us, I thought she was playing a prank. Kevin was 28 years old and genuinely believed chocolate milk came from brown cows. I wish I was joking. At first I laughed, thinking he was just being funny, but the confused look on his face told me he was dead serious. My sister kicked me under the table and whispered, "Be nice." Over the next few months, I discovered Kevin's ignorance wasn't limited to dairy products. He once argued with me that the moon was closer to Earth than California was to New York because you can see the moon, but not California from New York. When I tried explaining distances, he just shook his head and said, if California was closer, you could just look really hard and see it. But the real kicker came when Kevin decided he wanted to invest in cryptocurrency. My sister called me in a panic one evening, saying Kevin had withdrawn their entire savings, $45,000 they'd been saving for a house down payment, to invest in something called Moon Dogecoin. I rushed over to find Kevin grinning proudly at his laptop. "I'm going to make us millionaires," he announced, showing me a sketchy website with cartoon dogs wearing spacesuits. I tried explaining how cryptocurrency scams worked, but he cut me off. The guy online said it's guaranteed to go up 1,000% in 2 weeks. He's a financial advisor. When I asked for credentials, Kevin showed me a Discord chat where someone named Crypto King was promising astronomical returns. I spent 3 hours trying to convince him this was a textbook scam, but he wouldn't budge. "You're just jealous you didn't get in early," he said smugly. I called my sister into the room and begged her to reason with him. She looked horrified, but admitted the money was already gone. Kevin had sent it all as Bitcoin to an anonymous wallet. I suggested calling the police, but Kevin insisted we'd look foolish when we were all rich in 2 weeks. I couldn't sleep that night, knowing my sister's future had been gambled away by someone who couldn't grasp basic astronomy. The next morning, I had an idea. I created a fake email address posing as Crypto King and sent Kevin a message saying there was a processing error and he needed to provide his original transaction ID to unlock his investment potential. Kevin forwarded it immediately. I then told him Moon Dogecoin was experiencing quantum blockchain resistance and needed to refund his initial investment before reprocessing. I explained that I'd found a legal loophole that might help recover the funds. I contacted the Bitcoin exchange he'd used and explained the situation. They couldn't reverse the transaction, but they helped me file reports with relevant authorities. I also reached out to a college friend who worked in cybersecurity. 3 agonizing weeks later, through a combination of luck, timing, and my friend pulling some questionable strings, we managed to identify the scammer and recover almost $38,000. When the money appeared back in my sister's account, Kevin was convinced it was a sign from the universe that he should try again with a more established cryptocurrency. My sister finally put her foot down and took control of their finances. Kevin sulked for days, insisting we'd missed out on millions. The best part? 6 months later, Kevin saw a news story about cryptocurrency scams and proudly told everyone at Thanksgiving dinner how he'd almost been fooled by one of those, but was too smart to fall for it. My sister kicked me under the table again when I started choking on my cranberry sauce. Kevin still believes chocolate milk comes from brown cows, but at least now he believes it because my sister told him the white cow, brown cow thing was the actual scam. Sometimes I wonder if he's actually a genius playing the longest con in history, but then he asks questions like whether Alaska is an island because it's separated from the rest of the map, and I remember that no, he's just the dumbest person I've ever met.